Welcome to another episode. KM videos, true stories. What's up, y'all? Welcome to another episode of KM videos, true stories. It's been a minute since I've done a story, so give me a moment to get back warmed up. This is just a warm-up. I want to take you guys into the module so you feel like you were right there, like you were in cell 1. So we're just going to call this cell 1. Today's episode picks up where my last one left off at. So I'm in the county jail with my bro and the 111s. I'm trying to explain to him I'm going to the Crip module. I'm not going to no 9,000 nothing. I'm going to Crip module. He tell me, all right, well, I'll just have you pulled over there and then they'll come get you. So I'm like, all right. And OSJ comes and scoop me up. OSJ stands for Operation Safe Jails. They're like a knockoff of OSS, Operation Safe Street, part of LAPD crash unit, so to speak. And they actually have an advantage because they deal with like 25,000 gang members, 250 gangs, and they basically suppress us by putting us in a small concentrated area where they can monitor us. So what they do is they grab the most reputable or the most violent gang members and place them in these modules. The LAPD controls the city of Los Angeles, while the sheriff controls the county of Los Angeles. So the sheriff actually deals with more gangs and more gang members than Crash or the LAPD. OSS or the sheriff, they have to go through 40 hours of a gang curriculum and another 40 hours of advanced gang training. And they deal with the criminals in the county jail for 4 or 5 years before they go out into the field. So they have a more hands-on approach, more intelligence, more dealings with the inmates and the criminals. The sheriff play along with us. They play like they're your friend, like they're doing you a favor because they know you're locked up. You're not getting your showers. You're not getting your proper diet and exercise. So you want to come out them cells. You don't want to live like a cage animal. You want to get out them cells. So they let you out them cells for playtime or murder time to get out there and fight, stick, stab, get your game up, communicate with your friends. You know what I'm saying? All of this is part of a setup that we all fall for. And it can be to our advantage or disadvantage. But the one thing I noticed, some of the inmates are more friendlier with the deputies than others. Come to find out, some of them have working relationships. This is what you call CI, confidential informants. So they take me to the row, and I go to Baker Row. They house me in cell 1. Cell 1 could be a hell of a movie. I could talk about cell 1 for 9, 10 months straight. A lot of drama in there, a lot of good times, a lot of drama. Just a lot of things going on in the gang modules if you've never been in there before. If you have, probably bring back a lot of memories. And so, cell 1 is the homie Lil Hogg and the homie Lil Sinbad. Lil Sinbad about 4 years younger than me. Hogg's probably a couple years younger than me. And so I go in there, take off my county blues. Actually, they issued me some blue and whites. The gang module had blue and white attire to separate us from the others. The 3,000 floor houses the most violent inmates in the county jail, period. You got the Mexican Mafia, the Southsiders, you got the Aryan Brotherhood, you got the Asians, you got the Bloods, and then you got the Crips. So on Baker Row was the 60s and our allies, and then you could throw in the Fodos and Fotre gangsters up in there. On Denver Row, which is upstairs, all of our rivals were up there. We didn't get along with nothing on the other row, except maybe the Main Street Crips. And so I go in there, I pull out my blue and whites, I got on a slingshot, and I got a little block NHC on my right shoulder. I got the RSC block on my leg with a little West Side 60s on it. So I think I'm cool as hell. I march down there to Peanut cell and I'm hollering at Peanut. Peanut's in the cell with one of my crime aides and a couple other down homies. So we talked for about 30 or 40 minutes. And then I said, cuz I'm finna go back to my cell, see what this nigga Hogg talking about. Hogg might want to get down or something. So the homie Peanut looks at me with this weird face, but he's dead serious. And he said, well, you need to go down there and ask them niggas for some larger boxes. That shit you got on is too tight, homie. It ain't a good look. I mean, he just shot me down like that, but he was giving me some game, real talk. So, you know, I went down there. Couldn't find nobody with no extra pair of boxers, so took me about 2 days to get some oversized boxers so I could sag in my boxers like all the rest of the rips, right? But Cell 1 was a trip. I can go on for days talking about Cell 1. I could give you 9 months of stories, and we could just call this channel Cell 1 or some shit. But a lot of interesting things went on in the module, and I wasn't there long before they moved us to Denver Row and moved Denver Row to Baker Row. The difference is Baker Row was 6-man cells, so it could hold more rips up in there. Denver Row was 4-man cells, so whoever got the smaller numbers, you could be housed on Denver Row. So that was us, the East Coast, Folders, Trey Gangster, Dodge City, Geer Gang, Harlem Crips, 40s, 90s, 111s. You know, sets like that. Everybody on the other row, complete enemies. You had the Hoovers, Shorelines, the Watts Crips, the West LA Crips, the San Gabriel Valley Crips. You just had everybody in there that basically got along with Trey Gangsters and the Hoovers. And the Comptons was on that row. So if you were Hoover and gangster friendly, you went on their row. If you wasn't Hoover friendly, you went on our row. So I go back to my cell, and it's quiet in there. It ain't but 2 other homies in there. It's Sinbad and Lil Hogg. But they quiet in there. I don't know what's going on. It just seemed weird to me. And Sinbad was a shooter from the hood. He was allegedly one of them dudes, right? And Sinbad sitting on his bunk, rocking, like he in a rocking chair, got his legs crossed and he's shaking. And almost like he nervous, but that was just him. He was a sociopath. That's how he got down. That's how he moved. There were a lot of rumors and a lot of speculation that Sinbad was responsible for the bloodiest weekend in Inglewood history. Sinbad allegedly was putting in work in Inglewood and killed a baby. Him and a few homies got arrested. They went to the substation, and one of the homies allegedly pointed Sinbad out. He tried to take the police to where the gun was, but they did not find the gun, so they could not convict Sinbad of any of those shootings. And he's not using the phone, he ain't using the bathroom, he ain't using the sink. So I make up my bed, and I think they gave Hogg some tear time or something. Some way, somehow, Hogg left the cell. So I asked Sinbad, like, cuz, what's up? What's wrong? He like, nothing, man. He said, when I get out of here, I'm going to kill this nigga Hogg. I'm like, what? Why? He like, cuz, I'm going to kill this nigga, cuz. And Sinbad used to like to whisper, like he didn't want to talk too loud where everybody could hear him. So Hogg comes back to the cell. And I still see Sinbad in the same position. He ain't moving. So I'm like, cuz, what's up, Sinbad? And Hogg says, oh, she know better. She better not get off her bunk. And I'm like, what? Like, Sinbad's a killer. He a chipper. Like, I know Sinbad ain't going for this. I done seen Sinbad squabble two of the most fighting dudes from our hood at the same time. I ain't saying he wanna put up a good fight, but I'm saying dude wasn't scary like that. So I'm like, Hogg, what's up? He like, cuz, what's up? He like, you wanna squabble or you wanna wrestle? I'm like, shit, it don't matter what you wanna do. I'm not realizing I'm fresh off the street. The air is a lot different in the county jail. Like, you in these dungeons with these little small vents and shit. The ventilation in there is not that great. I would compare it to being in Mile High Stadium in Denver, Colorado, where the air is real thin. So the air is real thin in there to me, and it's real dusty. And so Hogg say, well, come on. And I'm like, all right, come on, let's get in. Hogg rushes me, and he tries to grab me, and I fire on him. And he fired on me. I'm like, oh shit, I made a mistake firing on this dude. He killing my ribs. And then he grabs me and he throws me to the ground. Like, it didn't take him no time to do all this. And it didn't take me long to realize I was in a bit of a fight. And then he's choking me and he tell me, he said, cuz, when you just say you tap out and I'll let you go. I said, I ain't tapping out, you gotta kill me. And he damn near killed me, and so finally I tapped out. And cuz lets me up. I feel twisted, I feel worked. And I want some revenge, right? But I know I can't get this nigga until I get my push-ups up, my sit-ups up, and get a little used to this air up in there. So I'm trying to do my little push-ups and shit when I can. And I tell the homie Sinbad, like, cuz, you ought to get that nigga. And he like, nah, I'm going to get him on the street. And I'm like, man, get that nigga. You take off on him, and I'm going to help you. It's going to be us against him. Sinbad said, nah, I'm straight. I don't want that fade. So, all right, so we don't never take that fade. Hogg was probably about 6'3", 185 pounds, solid though. Like, no body fat, cut up in the stomach, had like a little baby chest, little baby muscles, but he was strong as hell. And Hogg was a jokester. He liked to joke. Hogg was actually a damn fool. Sinbad was in there for a shooting on the police. He caught a shooting down in 99 Mafia Hood. I think he was going to buy some Sherman, some shit. And he gets caught up in this jam in the alley in 99 Mafia Hood. And he's busting on the 99s. And the 99s are busting back. Come to find out, it was some police in that alley. So they had a shooting on the police. Baby L-Dog, I believe was his name. He took the rap for the case, or he got convicted of the case. Sinbad beats the case, but gets convicted of another shooting. But they had their eye on him. They had their confidential informants telling on him. So I'm going to Santa Monica court for a probation violation, in which eventually I got 3 years for. And I'm going to different courts for warrants. And I'm also going to CCB, Criminal Court Building downtown, for the home invasion robbery kidnap case that we was fighting. So I'm going to court all the time. I'm like always going to court, and whatever beef we got with the rivals, some days the homies are deep, some days I'm caught and the homies ain't with me. You know what I'm saying? Or we short. Whole nother story. When you're in these modules, man, it can go down at any given moment, any given day. The animosity can be high on a scale of 1 to 10. It could be a 10 one day, a 1 or a 0 the next. And you actually get into it with your allies. Like, it's not always so smooth, or your allies get into it with your allies. It's not always smooth. I got a bunch of stories. I don't know how or when I'm going to get to them, but we're going to try to get to them at some point and make them individual stories. And going to court, you might get into a riot, or you might get into a scuffle with the Mexicans. You may run across a Damu that you can touch, or you may have to get down because you got to go in the cell with the gangsters, the Hoovers, and so on and so forth. So all that woofing over the tier and shit, that should have come home to roost. But I'm going to tell you about this one cat, Lil Rusty from Geer Gang Crip. Lil Rusty was the homie. He's called himself Geerioso, right? And Rusty used to always woof over the tier. And he could rap his ass off. Then we had the homie Lil Mad, rest in peace. Lil Mad was a younger homie. Stay down, he was respected by the older homies. And Mad used to talk a little shit too. So Rusty used to always diss the Harlems in his raps. And the homies had to tell him, like, we ain't doing that up in here. He like, shit, I'm doing that up in here. He like, cuz, if a nigga from Harlem come up in here, you better not say no shit like that. He like, cuz, I'm from Geer. Nigga, I don't give a damn about Harlem. So we like, all right. So Lil Mad is telling us a story about one of the Ali's, Lil Ali or Baby Ali. They messing with the same broad. So Lil Mad is like, yeah, cuz come up in here, we gotta get down. Cuz come up in here, we gotta get down. Days go by and weeks go by, and Ali from Harlem come on the row. Boy, it got quiet, and then you got the instigators. Ali, what's up, cuz? What that Harlem like? Rusty was quiet, Lil Mad was quiet, and then the homies provoked Lil Mad to speak up. And Ali was like, cuz, we gotta get down on Harlem. So now you got Rusty and Mad and cuz from Harlem woofing over the tier. Ali ended up leaving real fast, so no incidents never happened. But now Rusty is kind of not feeling the homies because the homies was kind of supporting the Harlem, right? And so Rusty gets mad. And Rusty gets called for the chain, which means he's going to prison. So they call Rusty out. Rusty got 2 cups of piss. Because I think Ali was gone. Or he might have hit Ali. And then he get to our cell, cell 1, and he throw piss on us. And we like shocked, like, what was that for? So cuz go on lead the row. And he thought he was going to penitentiary. About 4 or 5 hours later, cuz come back to the row. And niggas is jumping up out their sleep. Like, oh yeah, Rusty's here, Rusty's back. And Rusty said, I can't go on that tier. So everybody's clowning Rusty. So Rusty goes down to the rivals tier. I think he had a cousin from Front Street Watts or something like that. I want to say Mo or something like that. So he goes down to the Hoover row. And he goes in a cell, I think with the Watts dudes. And you hear metal dropping. You just hear metal clink, 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 clink. Just hear all this metal hitting the floors. And the police hear all this. We all hear all this, right? And we like, ooh, ooh, ooh. And the Hoovers is yelling, Hoover, Hoover. Like warriors come out and play. They clowning. And Rusty is quiet as hell. A couple dudes spoke up like, you know, that's the homie, this is my family, y'all not gonna touch him. They like, shit. It's going up when these gates rack, nigga. All y'all gonna get it. Whoever got him in the cell gonna get it. So everybody was clowning Rusty. Matter of fact, who was like, man, what's a Geer Gang? Like, what is that? Like, that's a real gang? They were clowning. We don't know if they were serious or not, but they were really clowning Rusty. And finally, Lil Rusty had to roll it up, man. He told the police, man, I gotta go. I can't stay on this row. So they came and got Rusty off. But Rusty really put himself in a bad position with his allies and the enemies. And he was a stomped down solid dude up until that point. But anyway, rest in peace to Lil Rusty. And the moral of this story is, be careful who you fool with, man. You never know when the table's gonna turn. That's it for today's story, man. Thanks for watching. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. If you're a regular, you know what to do. Hit the like button and leave a comment. And let me know that y'all ready to get back popping with these kevmacvideos true stories. I'm out of here, y'all. Salute.
Sitting reminiscing about the days of way back before dollars. It don't make sense.